President Tinubu, Abbas, Atiku offer hope for 2025 in New Year messages. Nigeria Labour Congress demands withdrawal of controversial tax bills in New Year message. 2 injured as residents vigilantes clash in Niger. On the foreign scene, Ivory Coast to withdraw French troops to end decades-long military presence in the country. Hello there and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you for joining us. The news in detail. Prominent Nigerian leaders, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Speaker Abbas Tajuddin, and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, have delivered New Year messages filled with optimism and calls for collective action as the nation enters 2025. President Tinubu expressed hope for brighter days, assuring citizens that their sacrifices over the past 19 months had not been in vain. Highlighting economic progress, he noted a decrease in fuel prices, foreign trade surpluses, rising foreign reserves, a stronger naira, and record growth in the stock market. However, Tinubu acknowledged lingering challenges such as high food and drug costs and pledged continued efforts to address them. He also announced plans to unveil the National Values Charter and launch a youth confab in the first quarter of 2025, emphasizing youth inclusiveness and nation building. Speaker Abbas Tajuddin urged Nigerians to renew their hopes for 2025, calling for unity and resilience. In a statement by his media aide, he expressed confidence in the country's collective strength to overcome challenges. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar encouraged Nigerians to prioritize collective prosperity and ensure accountability in leadership. He emphasized the importance of preventing abuse of power and safeguarding democratic principles. The leaders' messages collectively underline a shared vision of hope, resilience, and progress for Nigeria in the year ahead. Now, the Nigerian Labour Congress has urged the federal government to withdraw contentious tax bills currently before the National Assembly, citing concerns over the welfare of Nigerian workers. In his New Year message titled "In 2025, Hope is in Our Collective Resolve," NLC President Joe Ajaero emphasized the need for policies rooted in transparency, inclusivity, and honesty. He also called for a collaborative effort to draft a new tax law that reflects national interests and garners wider acceptance. Ajaero reiterated the importance of governance delivering tangible benefits, such as improved healthcare, housing, education, and security, while urging the government to honor labor agreements and respect workers' rights. The NLC also plans to push for a wage review in 2025, highlighting the need for incomes that align with rising economic realities. Workers' welfare is central to national productivity, Ajaero said. He called on Nigerians to unite in their resolve to build a prosperous, inclusive nation, pledging the NLC's commitment to fostering industrial peace and protecting workers' rights. President Bola Tinubu has ordered the reintroduction of history as a subject into the basic education curriculum. The Minister of Education, Tunji Alausa, confirmed that the directive by the President to restore the teaching of history in primary and secondary schools nationwide. Speaking during Channels Television's end-of-year special review show on Tuesday, Alausa stated President Tinubu has mandated the return of Nigerian history as a subject in basic education. The development followed the formal reintroduction of the subject after its removal 13 years ago during the administration of late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. The subject was previously abolished in 2009 due to claims that students were avoiding it and that there was a lack of job opportunities for history graduates. Additionally, a shortage of qualified history teachers was cited as another factor. However, in a move to correct the decision, former Minister of Education Adamu launched the initiative to bring back the subject. Represented by the Minister of State for Education, Goodluck Opia, during the inauguration ceremony in Abuja at the time, Adamu expressed concerns about the negative impacts of history's removal from the curriculum. Now, the historic Afan Cultural Festival in Kagoro has kicked off the year 2025 with its vibrant celebration of unity, heritage and tradition. Held annually on the first day of January, the festival showcased the rich culture of Kagoro with colorful performances from various traditional dance groups, captivating attendees. The 2025 Afan Cultural Festival in Kagoro was a spectacle of cultural pride and celebration. Traditional dance groups from across the region displayed their talents, highlighting the rich heritage of the Kagoro people. In his address, the Speaker of the National Assembly, Tajuddin Abbas, who was represented by Amos Gwamna Magaji, the member representing Zangon Kataf Jaba Federal Constituency, reaffirmed the commitment of the 10th National Assembly to promoting culture and tourism. He emphasized that the Committee on Culture and Tourism is dedicated to uniting people and preserving traditions. In other stories, Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi has signed the state's largest ever budget of 693.3 billion naira for the 2025 fiscal year into law, titled the Budget of Innovation and Transformation for Greater Jigawa. The financial plan aims to drive development across critical sectors. The signing ceremony followed 25 days of review and approval by the Jigawa State House of Assembly. Governor Namadi praised the legislature for its thorough examination and swift passage of the budget. He assured residents of the administration's commitment to transparency and effective implementation. The 2025 budget focuses on infrastructure, education, healthcare, agriculture, and youth empowerment, reflecting the state's development priorities. Governor Namadi highlighted plans to adopt innovative strategies for revenue generation and impactful governance.
I want to also thank the entire civil servant of Jigawa State, because this budget is a handwork, because the budget has to come from the ministries or the department before it is consolidated into what we are signing today. So I thank everybody for the hard work, and I want to call all of you, everybody, to work assiduously to ensure the execution of this budget.
One very interesting thing, just like His Excellency mentioned, this budget, total budget is 698.3 billion. 76% of it all is capital expenditure. That's more than 540 billion goes to capital expenditure. That is a very, very big thing that will happen in the Jigawa State.
Elsewhere in the South-South region of the country, Governor Basir II of Cross River State has granted unconditional pardon to 45 prisoners who committed minor offenses. He said this was to mark the New Year celebration in the state. In a statement, his chief press secretary, Nsa Gill, said that the action was an exercise of his prerogative of mercy pursuant to Section 212, subsection 1, subsection A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Nsa said the pardon was contained in the approval given to the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ededem Ani. Now, the federal government has advanced its efforts to extradite Simon Ekpa, the pro-Biafra agitator from Finland, to Nigeria. Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa confirmed that most of the necessary documents have been submitted to the Finnish authorities. While avoiding detailed comments on the matter, General Musa expressed optimism that the process would move forward swiftly. The CDS says the federal government has forwarded most of the requirements to the Finnish government. Simon Ekpa has been on Nigeria's radar over alleged involvement in the rise in violence against security agents in the southeast. After months of governmental pressure, Finnish law enforcement arrested him on November 21, signaling potential progress in bringing him to justice. The extradition process represents a critical step in addressing the challenges posed by secessionist violence in the region. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, has said the military succeeded in killing a total of 10,937 terrorists last year. While briefing newsmen on the operations of the military in the year 2024 on Tuesday in Abuja, Buba said the troops reduced the fighting capabilities of terrorists, recording 16,171 surrendered terrorist combatants and their families in the year under review. He said the troops recovered 8,815 weapons and 228,004 ammunitions and denied the oil thieves an estimated sum over 68.4 billion naira. In the northeast, he said that troops of Operation Hardin Kai neutralized 3,151 terrorists, arrested 2,503 suspects, and rescued 1,605 kidnapped hostages within the year. Still on security matters, at least 2 people, including a vigilante corps, have been hospitalized following a clash between the residents of Soje area of Mina, Niger State capital, and vigilantes corps in the area. Reports say the clash, which happened in the night on Tuesday, was ignited by a raid of some spots suspected to have been occupied by hoodlums and drug peddlers. Residents say one of the vigilantes was injured during the face-off. One of the residents, who preferred anonymity, said the area raided did not form part of the spots being used as hideout for hoodlums. A spokesman for the Niger State Police Command, SP Wasiu Abiodun, confirmed the incident. He said vigilantes have already been directed to always work with police while parading any suspected spots suspected to be of criminals while raiding. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up ahead, Katsina State government to improve on healthcare delivery. More stories after the break. We'll be right back. It's nice to have you join us again. Let's take another look at some of our top stories. President Tinubu Abbas Atiku offer hope for 2025 in New Year messages. NLC demands withdrawal of controversial tax bills in New Year message. Moving on to other stories. The National Population Commission says over 10 million children have been registered and offered birth certificates in the last 3 months. The chairman of the commission, Nasser Issa Kwara, stated this while speaking to journalists after the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, presented a birth certificate to the baby of the year in Asokoro General Hospital, Abuja. Represented by the Federal Commissioner from Katsina, Bala Banya, the chairman explained that the commission would leave no stone unturned until every child born in Nigeria was registered and offered a birth certificate. In a statement, he said, with the digitization of the registration system in collaboration with the primary healthcare agency, children, wherever they are born, would be registered. He said the new e-birth certificate now comes with national identity number. The chairman called on all parents and guardians to register their child as it is totally free. The Deputy Governor of Katsina State, Malam Farouk Lawal, has revealed the state's significant strides in improving the healthcare sector, highlighting heavy investment in infrastructure, personnel and services. Speaking during a monthly press briefing on Tuesday, the Deputy Governor emphasized that the administration from inception to date has prioritized delivering quality healthcare services to the people. The report.
The Katsina State Deputy Governor Malam Farouk Lawal disclosed that the government has recruited 254 additional health personnel, including medical doctors, nurses and pharmacists, to strengthen the healthcare system. In tackling the shortage of medical doctors, the government has awarded full scholarship to 41 students to study medicine in Egypt, an initiative costing over 2 billion naira. To further incentivize healthcare professionals, the government has increased the entry-level salary for medical doctors and enhanced residency training allowances aimed at boosting morale and ensuring efficient healthcare delivery.
Government has also undertaken a series of awareness and prevention campaign programs, as well as the provision of medical support against HPV and cervical cancer, sickle cell anemia, seasonal malaria, in order to strengthen preventive measures against such diseases.
According to Malam Farouk Lawal, infrastructure development has been a major focus area, with the government investing 13.453 billion naira to upgrade 146 primary health care facilities across the state. The administration has also completed the construction of a dialysis center at General Amadirimi Specialist Hospital, which is regarded as one of the best in the country. Other key initiatives include the deployment of e-health solutions in 7 health facilities, the establishment of a pharmaceutical production unit, and strengthening the State Contributory Health Care Management Agency.
Enrollment of approximately 26,000 retirees in the state under the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is also ongoing.
The Deputy Governor also highlighted government efforts to combat diseases such as HIV and AIDS, malaria and diphtheria. Residents of Katsina have applauded Governor Dikko Umaru Radda's administration for its focused efforts in improving the healthcare sector, ensuring better services for the people.
In other stories, the National Association of Telecom Subscribers has rejected the proposed increase in telecommunication tariffs, describing the plan as insensitive and a further burden on consumers already grappling with economic hardship. The decision to reject the hike came after an emergency meeting held on Tuesday, where the association issued a communique outlining their objections. The backlash follows signs that the Nigerian Communications Commission may approve the tariff increase requested by telecom operators. A source within the NCC had on December 29 dismissed claims of a rumored proposed telecommunications tariff hike, allegedly set to take effect in January 2025. To developments in business transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Exchange Limited on Tuesday ended the year on a negative note, with the all-share index declining by 0.22% to close at 102,926.40 points. The total market capitalization dropped by 135 billion naira, closing at 62.76 trillion naira, marking the final trading day of the year, according to data from NGX. This brings the year-to-date gain to 37.01%, the month-to-date gain for December 2024 to 5.47%, and the week-to-date gain to 0.77%. An aggregate of 422.65 million unit shares was traded in 8,427 deals valued at 39.99 billion naira, highlighting market activity despite the decline. The market breadth closed positive with 36 equities gaining, while 28 equities recorded declines in share prices, reflecting a mixed sentiment among investors. On the foreign scene, Ivory Coast has announced the withdrawal of French troops, marking the end of a decades-long military presence in the country. President Alassane Ouattara confirmed that the process will begin in January 2025 with the Port Bouet military base handed over to Ivorian forces. France currently has up to 600 soldiers stationed in the country. This decision aligns with similar actions by other West African nations, including Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, where anti-French sentiment has grown. France has faced military expulsions across 70% of African countries where it once maintained a presence. Recent withdrawals include Senegal and Chad, traditionally seen as strong French allies. The move comes as France attempts to revamp its military strategy in Africa, drastically reducing its troop presence. Meanwhile, countries like Mali and Burkina Faso have turned to Russia for military support, although this has coincided with a rise in extremist attacks and civilian casualties. Still on the foreign scene, Cameroonian President Paul Biya gave his end-of-year address to the nation, and a subtle hint that he still has interest in keeping the presidency. Biya warned that 2025, the year Cameroon is meant to hold presidential elections, is full of challenges, which was interpreted by some observers as a suggestion that he sees himself as president of the Central African country beyond 2025. Biya said he was paying attention to the cries of his party's members who have recently embarked on a propaganda drive to market his candidacy. At almost 92 years old, 40 of which he has spent at the head of his country, Paul Biya remains the sole candidate of the ruling Cameroon People's Democratic Movement according to the party's constitution. Finally, in sports, the chairman of the Nigeria Premier Football League side, Sunshine Stars, Bamidele Ologunloluwa, has insisted that he wants the team back in its original base in Akure. The Akure Township Stadium is currently undergoing renovation, and Sunshine Stars has been playing their home game away from home. The team is presently playing their game at the Remo Star Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State. They have also played at the Depot Dinner Stadium in Ogun State. Still in sports, Dani Olmo's future at Barcelona was plunged into uncertainty on Tuesday as La Liga rejected financially troubled Catalan giants' frantic attempts to register the Spain star. La Liga's strict spending limits restricted Olmo's initial registration to December 31, 2024, after Barcelona made the playmaker their flagship signing last summer. The club was left scrambling for alternatives to get Olmo on the books before the clock struck midnight in Spain, having exhausted legal avenues to extend the registration to June 30, 2025. Barcelona said on Tuesday that they had requested a new license from the Spanish Football Federation for Olmo and forward Pau Victor, who also faces the same registration predicament. Spanish media reported that the move would buy Barcelona precious time to complete the administrative formalities. That's about it on the news update at this hour. Remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Join us again.